We are live. Let me get us going on Instagram, and then we will be good to go. Let's see. All right. Okay, we are good to go. So, hey everybody, I'm back for another live video. As I mentioned on the description, if you joined me last week, you know that we talked about being visible online, mostly focusing on video. So today I wanted to take things a step further and talk about live video, like what I'm doing right now on all of the social media platforms. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Carrie Henderson. I am a marketing consultant. I focus on organic marketing strategies, helping my clients show up consistently online to attract their ideal clients, generate more leads, and of course, grow their business in revenue. So I appreciate you all watching. Wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, let me know if you're watching live or if you are watching on the replay. I know on LinkedIn, I oftentimes get people watching on the replay. So I appreciate you all if you're watching on the replay. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So today I wanted to talk about why you should go live. Why should you go live? If you have a personal brand, if you are the face of your service-based business, you should be doing live video. My clients that I work with, live is part of our content marketing strategy. So we're going to recap what we talked about last week, and then we're going to dive into why live video should be a part of your strategy. So last week I said, hey y'all, it's time to go visible. It's time to show your face on screen. And that meant showing up on video, right? Either pre-recorded or live like I'm doing right now. And the thing that we talked about last week was how to overcome that fear, because I know a lot of us do not like to put ourselves out there. We like to be behind the scenes. We like to be quiet. But if you are launching your business, if you are looking to grow your business from 5 to 6 figures, and you are mostly in the online coaching consulting space, right? You use social media to get your clients, you're going to have to show your face. People need to know who you are, unless you're running an agency, which usually is a little bit different. But you are the solopreneur. If it's you in a small team, if you are the face of your brand, you want to show your face online. I know it's hard, but check last week's video. We talked about, I gave you 3 simple steps. Those are simple steps that I use to overcome my fear of showing my face online, which is really interesting because I told someone in the comments, when I was styling, I actually did TV segments, live TV segments in the Washington, D.C. area. I think I did them 3 times. So that the idea of being scared to be on camera, I know it baffles me. Like, you could get on TV in front of thousands of people, but you're afraid to be online. It's weird. I know. We all have our thing. So make sure you check out that video. But today I want to dive in why you want to add live video to your marketing strategy to attract your ideal client. Now, the first reason is it's a low cost to start. Now, most of us, if not all of us, have cell phones, right? We pay thousands of dollars for these nice fancy phones that have cameras that sometimes are better than the handheld cameras that you could buy at the store in terms of their quality. You do not have to spend a lot of money to go live. You can use your iPhone, you can use your Android, you can use webcam if you want the option of streaming on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn at multiple places at one time. Very low cost in terms of equipment. You can pick up your phone, you can be in your car going live. You can be sitting in your house going live. You can be going for a walk going live. There's low cost to be able to use live, right? So that in terms of equipment. But another thing about going live in terms of cost, it's low time commitment. Now, I know a lot of people batch record their YouTube videos, which is great. Sit on a weekend, record like 40 videos. All your videos are scheduled. You cut up all your videos for repurposing content. That's great. But if you do not have a lot of time, because maybe you're working full time in your business, and you have a full-time job along with working in your business, right? Maybe this is something you're doing on the side and you're growing. Maybe you have a family, like weekends are family time, like you do not do work on the weekends, and trying to do this, your service-based business, trying to do your coaching business, consulting business, and your full-time job of the week is enough. That trying to sit and batch record is too much. If you do not have the time, live gives you quick, easy access to reach out to your audience without having to do all of that extra work. You can just turn on your phone, turn on your webcam. Webcams you can get for less than $200 and start talking to your audience, start attracting your audience, start becoming someone that they know online. And so it saves you a lot of time. And with live video, live is a great place to test your offers, to see if you can attract your clients without having to spend a lot of time and money in equipment and recording. Because the last thing you want to do is say, hey, I have an idea. I think this is what I want to do. I've done some market research. I think this is who my client is. You set up all this time recording videos, doing all of that work only for it not to work, right? Only for your media, your videos not to convert, not to get eyes in front of your ideal clients, and not work in the way that you want it to. So it allows you to test without spending a lot of time and without spending a lot of money up front. Because the last thing you want to do is spend all this time and money, and you may change your audience later. You may need to refine your messaging. You may need to refine your offer, and live gives you the opportunity to do that, live video, without having to spend a lot of time and money on YouTube. Like creating YouTube content, like scheduling YouTube content. But here's another thing too about YouTube content. When you sit and batch record content, there's a pressure, we won't admit it, but there's a pressure to like be a little bit more polished, right? To be a little bit more, I won't say, you may not be your true authentic self when you're doing YouTube. Now, if you've been doing YouTube, I know some people that have been doing YouTube videos for years, but when everyone starts doing video, you're always a little bit shy. You always want to, put your best foot forward. It's almost like dating, right? You have your representative for a couple of days, you have your representative for a couple of videos. So you may not show up as your true authentic self in the beginning. And there's a lot of pressure to show up a certain way on YouTube. YouTube is not TikTok. YouTube is not Instagram. You want to look a different way when someone finds you on that platform. But with live, it gives you the freedom to be more free, more laid back. You just show up like, I'm on here today. I did not put any makeup on. I did not feel like taking my twist out. Y'all can get a head wrap today. And I feel no pressure to show up a certain way on live. Now, when I was styling, it may depend on your industry. Because when I was a stylist, if I'm a stylist and I'm telling people how to get dressed, I wanted to show up a certain way. I wasn't going to show up and look like anything, right? I was going to be dressed on camera. But when you're in live, there's less pressure to like get prepared, set up the stage, have the correct lighting everywhere. Like a thought may come to you, something you want to share with your audience, you can go live. I know some people, when they were starting their business and they had a full-time job, they did lives like in their car on the ride home, or like when they pulled up at their house, they did lives real quick, and they weren't long, 15, 20 minutes. So you have more flexibility just to show up and meet your audience where they are when you're ready to say something, versus content that's mapped out and scheduled to record. You have to wait a specific day to record that. Something may come to you and you're like, you know what, I gotta go live, I gotta talk to my audience about this, and it could capture them and pull them in, and you may get a client because you were speaking to them at that specific point, at that specific time, right? So you can show up and be more of yourself, but you can also capture your audience on a whim without having to be so rigid in your scheduling. Because life be lifing. And sometimes, you need to get what you have to say out of your mind. You just got to go online and say, hey, this is what I want to tell you. And lives don't have to always be long. Some people do an hour. Some people do 10 minutes. Some people just, hey, I'm dropping in for 5 minutes to tell you something. It doesn't have to be long. But the point is, when you have live, it's a low cost entry. Don't got to spend a lot of money. You don't have to spend a lot of time. And you can just hop on. And this is great for those who, like I mentioned before, who just don't have the time. If you can just say, hey, I'm gonna do live once a week, and that's all you commit to doing video, that's great. You're setting up a schedule, as we talked last week. My word is consistency. That's the word for the year, right? So with live, if you're doing live video and you don't have the time to batch record, you can have your cadence where you can set up every week, I'm gonna go live and talk about X, Y, and Z, which leads me into my second point, which by doing live videos like that, you start to build trust with your audience. Your audience will know after a while, if you stay consistent and you show up live, that, hey, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock or every Tuesday at 8:30, I can go check out this person on social media and they're going to give me nuggets. They're going to give me something valuable, something that can help me with wherever I am in my business or wherever I am, whatever I'm struggling with right now. So going live helps you build trust. And as I mentioned, you're less rigid, so you can be your authentic self. Let's be honest. half the time we buy, yes, we buy because someone can help us solve our problem, but we also buy because of the person themselves. Like if you are you are your brand, you are the face of your brand, people are not only buying into your offer, they're also buying into you. And so being live is like having a conversation. Like we're on live right here. There's people in the comments, there's people watching on Instagram, right? People watching on all the platforms. We're just having a conversation, and it gives you opportunity for people to get to know you, get to know your personality. What would it be like if they worked with you, right? So they can learn all of that through a live video because you're your authentic self, you're less rigid, and you're just showing up to give them value. And so that's what is really, really important. So when you're going live, it also gives people the opportunity to get to know you faster. Like, y'all know, everything's fast, right? We're in this world is everything is moving quickly. People's attention span is really short. So being on live video gives me opportunity. I can hop on 10, 15, 20 minutes, get to know someone's personality, see what they have to say, know if I want to check in next week to see if they say something else, know if I want to sign up for a freebie, for a download. It's a great way to capture your audience, for them to take action. Live gives you all of that interaction, a natural interaction that you don't really get with pre-recorded videos. Now, I'm not saying don't do pre-recorded videos because I used to do them on YouTube. When we were in the middle of COVID, we have nothing else to do. So I started doing, fashion videos to post on YouTube. But there's an element of live that just draws your audience in. It gives them this feeling of like they're having a conversation with you. They're getting to know you. It's like I mentioned last week, you're just sitting around having a conversation. You're low-key having a consultation, right? Because you should be speaking to a pain point of your audience when you're going live. Like, don't just go live to go live. Like, go live to talk about something. Go live to provide value. But when you do that, you're kind of tackling some of the objections that your audience, your ideal client would have if they got on the phone with you. And that's another great thing about live. That's point number 3, is that you can speak to their real-time objections in the moment. I've seen people do lives, and they'll even have clients come on if they're on Instagram, for instance, and they will do like a mini consultation on Instagram Live. You can't do that with a pre-recorded video, right? It's already recorded. It's premiering. It's on YouTube. You say what you want to say. But when you're on live and when it's in the authentic space, you allow yourself freedom to have like real moments where you can interact with their ideal clients. So someone may ask you questions on your live that maybe they were thinking and they were afraid to ask you or afraid to reach out. Being live in that space where it's more organic, it's more laid back, it's less poised and polished, makes it a free flowing environment for people to ask their questions. I can tell you doing live helps people want to reach out to you. They want to learn more. I told you guys I went live the first time last year because I had LinkedIn Live for like 2 years and never used it. And the first time I went live, someone reached out to me to inquire about email marketing strategy off of one live video. And because I showed up, my authentic self, knew what I was talking about, and created a space for conversation, people were engaging in the comments, that prompted someone to want to reach out. So when you're in this space of going live, you are creating a space where people can come ask their questions with no judgment. You answer it not only for them, but you're also answering the question in front of masses of people, and people feel more compelled and more open to ask those burning questions that they maybe were afraid to slide in your DMs and ask. And they were like, oh, I should probably send them an email or send them a text, but I didn't want to do that. You creating a space for that. So it creates an environment where people can just come up, ask their questions, get value, and make a decision like, okay, I'm going to continue and reach out, take the next step, or I'm going to tune in next week to see what else they have to say because I know they're going to provide me with value. Which takes me to point number 4, is that going live positions you as an expert. One of my clients, he went live so consistently. When he didn't go live, people were in his DMs like, so are you going live this week? Are you going live next week? Because he missed like 1 or 2 weeks. Like, you can take a break. Live is giving away free content. I know, but you also need to take a break. But he had positioned himself as an expert because he showed up consistently. He got on live, same time, same day, every single week, talked to his ideal client, talked to what they were going through. Because there's some lives, people in there like, oh my gosh, I'm going through this right now. You were speaking to me, because we had a strategy about what to say, when to say it. But because he was consistent and he showed up every single week and knew what he was talking about, I said, y'all can have your notes, had his notes about what he wanted to cover, and came in there and was like, boom, 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 X, Y, and Z, this is what you need to do. This is what you're struggling with. This is how you feel. This is how I can help you. he positioned himself as an expert to the point now it's like if anybody needs help, that's the person that they recommend because he showed up every single week. And it also works because he has a very busy schedule. So going live is like low hanging fruit. I can go live and go about my business 30 minutes later, which I know a lot of you all need that right now. It's like you're in this space where you don't have a lot of time. So going live, you can go live, pop in, pop out, say what you have to say, and keep it moving. But most importantly, being live positions you as an expert. So people are going to come to you because they know you have the answer. They know you provide value, and they know that when you pop in on live, you have something to say because you show up consistently providing value. And you may or may not get that with, videos that are recorded. You will, but the live environment is just a different level of trust. I feel like it's a different level of trust for sure because someone's coming on, they're coming to talk to you, they're coming to share a nugget with you, they're coming on live to give you something that they know you could take value from and that you absolutely need. And so if you haven't thought about doing live, it's also a great way for you to practice speaking because if you are a coach consultant, not only are you speaking to clients, but you may be someone that wants to do speaking engagements or be featured in media. Live is a great way to practice for that because it prepares you for other platforms where you have to be in front of more people, where you also be in other rooms where you can attract more clients as well. So if you haven't thought about doing live, I would highly recommend it. It is a great place to start if you want to get comfortable in front of the camera. If you don't want to have to spend a lot of money, if you don't want to have to spend a lot of time figuring out, let me sit and map out 40 videos. Because sometimes, let's be honest, you may not know everything you want to talk about. Yes, you're supposed to have your marketing strategy, but we can be real. Like, let's not be how everyone else is online. Like, oh, you can map out your whole calendar in a year. Like, some people don't get that far. Some people can only do the 4 weeks that are in front of them. And so if you're doing that, you can do your live every week, go through a couple weeks, get a few lives under your belt, get some questions, talk to some people in the comments, DMs, get more content and keep it moving. So live is a really great way to just practice being in front of the camera, practice getting comfortable in front of the camera without having to spend a lot of time and a lot of money, especially in the beginning. Now, once your business grows, you can do more pre-recorded videos and premiere them on YouTube. That's a whole nother thing. We can talk about that one day. But when you're starting out, live is a great way to get started, especially if you are new in your business and you haven't really been doing it long enough for people to know who you are, know what you do. Live is a great way to get your foot in the door and get people to recognize you and start paying attention. That's one of the reasons why I was doing live is because I was known for a stylist for so long. That's a passion I had pursued for like 10 years. And then I'm not doing style anymore. And I just start popping up online talking about marketing. I know some people are like, wait, what? I don't understand. Like, there's a disconnect, even though I have 2 degrees in marketing. So I'm using live as an opportunity to say, hey, I'm here. I know I did X. Now I do Y. Let me tell you about myself. And it creates an environment for me to do that without a lot of pressure. It allows me just to come on and be my true authentic self, share what I know in share what I know in an environment that's just open and honest for us to have a conversation. Like, I'm honestly getting on here. Yes, you can reach out to me for support if you need help with your marketing strategies, but I'm here to just provide value. I have learned a lot in the last year and a half. And those of you who know me know I want to see everybody win. And so I'm here to share strategies, share what I know, share what I've learned, not only doing stuff for myself because I was a blogger too. So listen, I've been on social media since it existed. Okay. Been there, done that. Blogs, promoted my own business. Now I'm helping other people do marketing for their businesses. So there's a lot to be learned and a lot to share in an ever-changing marketplace. And so for me, it's like, let me use live to get comfortable in front of the camera again, especially because I'm talking about something different without having to spend a lot of money, without having to spend a lot of time, share what I know, position myself as an expert, and build trust with a new audience. So that is all that can happen when you do lives. And when you are doing your lives, I'm telling y'all I don't have a call to action. My call to action is to DM me if you would like to develop your marketing strategy, to learn how to get in front of your ideal clients consistently. When you go live, you should always have a call to action. Your call to actions can be to download a lead magnet. It can be to book a call with you. You should always have a call to action in your lives as well, because the point of you doing lives is for you to book your ideal clients. So that is my spiel for today. For those of you who do not want to get visible, it's time to get visible. It's time to incorporate some live videos. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat live right now or when you watch the replay, because I will respond to comments if you guys have questions or comments during the replay when you're watching that as well. Are there any questions? I appreciate everyone who is tuning in tonight. Go ahead and drop your questions if you have them. Let's see. Thank you all who have hopped on. If not, I'll do a quick recap for those who are joining the party. We're talking about the reasons you should go live or have benefits of using live video. I think everyone who is the face of their business should use them as part of your marketing strategy. Now, here's the thing about live too, before I do the recap. You can use live consistently, like go every week, like I've been doing, like my clients do, or you can mix your live in with pre-recorded content. So you have two options. I like using it every week, like, hey, pop in, do my live, pop out for that week, but you have the option. It depends on your marketing strategy and what makes the most sense for you and where you are in your business, what area or phase you are in your business, like the season of business that you're in. So I would definitely say if you're starting out, go live, but if you're more seasoned in your business, you may be able to mix both. But to recap, the benefits of using live video to attract your ideal client: one, it's low cost in terms of equipment, time, and energy. Two, you want to build trust with your audience, and it creates engagement. It creates an environment where people can come ask their questions in a non-judgmental, no pressure environment. Three, it's more organic and you can speak to your clients' objections in real time. And it creates a space for you to get, I should have said this earlier, it also creates a space for you to get questions from your ideal client and answer them not only on that live, but that gives you ideas for content later. You're always using your content to repurpose, right? So I just got a question, which I'm going to answer, but that's another reason to go live as well. It helps you also get content from your audience because your audience is asking you questions. So you'll know what it is that they're concerned with, what it is that they are struggling with. You can answer them live, and that gives you content for future videos. And fourth, it also positions you as an expert. So we do have a question. Of course, it's from Done Dissertation. Hey guys, what should I talk about on my live if I don't have an offer yet, but I want to start getting known in my industry? Well, if you don't have an offer yet, I would say use your lives to walk through what it is that you do and to share the knowledge that you know, right? So you may not have a specific offer, but there is something that you know, right? Whatever your industry is. Like for me, in the marketing, organic marketing space. So I first started saying, oh, I'm going to do, I help with digital marketing. But digital marketing is both paid and unpaid. And it's a lot of things that fall under the digital marketing space. So I niched down to say, okay, I'm going to work in organic marketing. That's what I have mastered the last year and a half. Now, I don't know if I might have all of the offers mapped out right, like 1, 2, 3. I do know I have one that I offer, but what if, let's say I didn't have any more than just one, or I'm like, I'm teetering around it. I'm not really sure. I need to test it out. If I was in a position where I wasn't really ready to offer that out to the world yet, I would talk about things related to that offer, right? I would talk about things around that offer, the things that the offer may cover. I would talk about the pain points that I know my client is going through. So if I don't have my offer yet, I at least know what they're struggling with. I at least know who they are, what they struggle with, that they are aware and unaware of. I know that if I don't want to offer my offer, I know that I could be a solution, or there's something in general could be a solution. For instance, Done Dissertation, right? They are dissertation coaching program. But let's say they didn't have the program offered just yet, but they knew doc students needed coaching. We would talk about the benefits of coaching. We wouldn't necessarily offer the coaching program if we didn't have the offer yet. But coaching is important. You know what your clients struggle with. You know what they struggle with that they're aware of and that they're not aware of. So I would use the lives as those opportunities to speak to that client, things that they're struggling with, things that they're aware of, things that they're not necessarily aware of. Talk about my knowledge base, like what it is I have learned in my own process. Use live as a storytelling opportunity because you know where your client is going through. Most likely you have been your client at some point. So you talk about what it is that you went through, how you overcame, the things that you learned, and how those things and those lessons positioned you where you are now. So there's a lot you can talk about before you have your offer, which are all things that you should be talking about when you do have your offer. Even when you have your offer, you still want to be sharing those things with your ideal client to build trust, to share your knowledge, position yourself as an expert. So when people are ready to make a decision, you are the person that they think of. Was that helpful? Did that answer your question? And are there any other questions? Any more for today? Yep, awesome. Any other questions about live video, content in general, video content? Let me know if you guys would want to see a video on all the ways you can repurpose your content. I think we need to do a video on that. Because I hear all the time, they ask my client, like, how are you all over the place? How do you always come up with content? We might have to do a lesson on that. I'm thinking about it. That'll be either a short video or like an actual lesson. Because we could break down how to do that, right? That could be a full lesson. Any other questions? If there aren't any, I appreciate you guys tuning in, watching live, watching on the replay. Remember, low cost time and money, or time and money. Doesn't cost a lot for your equipment. Doesn't take a lot of time to go live. You build your audience. You build trust with your audience, and you create an engaging community online. You position yourself as an expert, and you can tackle your ideal clients' objections in real time. Not only answer the questions that they have that they may be afraid to ask, right? But you can also use that as an opportunity to also capture questions that your clients frequently ask and turn that into additional content. So I hope this is helpful. Those of you that are watching and comment, I will be looking forward to your lives as well. And you guys have a good night.